Hi guys, welcome to Katrina's Creative Heart. I'm Katrina Wolfe and I am here to share with you a fun little technique that I learned, oh gosh, many years ago when I first started stamping, and it's been a while since I've resurrected it, so I thought I would try it with you today doing this here card using this beautiful set, Rooted in Nature. It's a 2-box set. Available in my online store. Great for every season, really. And today we're going to make it a nice fall card. So I have my pieces here. Set the card here aside. I'm using a standard card base of Old Olive. This is cut 8.5 by 5.5, and I have it scored at 4 1/4. Then I have Cajun Craze. This piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have a piece of crushed curry. This is 5 inches by 3 3/4. And then I have another piece of crushed curry that measures 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and a piece of Whisper White that's 3 inches by 4 inches. So we're going to start with, and I also have some scrap white here and a 1.5 inch circle in the Cajun Craze, which we'll get to in a bit. But I'm going to set all my pieces aside here, and I'm going to work with my little piece of Whisper White. Again, this is 4 inches by 3 inches. And I have the large tree from the set. All right. I'm using Pear Pizzazz ink because I want a little bit of a lighter green, and I am going to go ahead and just ink up my tree. For this technique, you do need your Stampin' Right markers. So now that I have my tree inked up with the Pear Pizzazz, I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to bring in, I have my Early Espresso Stampin' Right marker. I have Shaded Spruce, Crushed Curry, Cajun Craze, and Cherry Cobbler are my colors that I've selected. So I'm going to start with the Early Espresso, and I'm going to color in my tree trunk. So I'm just going to add color to the trunk. And I can see, if I tilt this in the light, I can see a little bit of where some of the tree branches kind of come through. So I'm just going to hit those with a little of my Early Espresso. You don't have to get too heavy-handed, just where you see the lines of what would be branches. And I think that should do it right there. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my lightest color, which is the Crushed Curry. And I'm going to hold this in my hand just like this, very loosely, like you were holding maybe a drumstick if you were a drummer. And I'm just going to pounce it. This is called thumping. And this is what this technique is referred to as the thumping technique. So I'm just throwing some of that crushed curry in there. Next, I want to bring in my Cajun Craze, and you want to make sure you're using the brush tip, not your fine writing tip. As you can see, that fine tip there, that's perfect for writing and journaling, but you want to use your brush tip. And again, just kind of thumping it on there, very loosely holding it in your hand and letting it bounce. Next, I want my Cherry Cobbler to bring in some reds. So this is a pretty fall tree that's got some different colors in it. And now I'm going to use the Shaded Spruce to give it a little bit of depth to the greens. And again, just literally allowing it to thump. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now I'm going to, the very technical, very important part, you're going to huff. I know, very hard. Just want to make sure you're moistening any of that ink that may have dried while you were adding more color. So I want to just kind of get in the center of there, just like so. Get some pressure, nice and even. And there's our tree. See all those colors? So now I have multiple colors in my tree. Now I can start putting my card together. So I'm bringing all my layers back. I'm using some of my fast fused. If any of you have noticed, the clearance rack has fast fuse back. Just for a short time, the manufacturer ended up actually having some, so Stampin' Up! Got what they could and put it on the clearance rack for those of us who love it so. So, just gonna layer that on with our Cajun Craze to, oops, the card base. Then I got crushed curry. And then I'm just going to take this white image and attach that to this crushed or Cajun Craze layer. And I'm going to keep this rather flat at this point. So I'm just going to add some more fast fuse and layer this right here onto our card base. These are really good fall colors. They have a really nice fall card. All right, now I'm going to bring in my scrap Whisper White, and I have my 1.5 inch circle that I punched out of Cajun Craze. Set that there. And I'm bringing in my sentiment that's also from the Rooted in Nature. I'm using this Be Strong, Be Happy, Be You from the set. And where's my Cajun Craze? We're going to use our Cajun Craze ink and get it inked up. And stamp. There, that looks good. Now I'm bringing in the punch. This is from the holiday catalog. This is in the Christmas Traditions punch box. So I love the shape of this. And normally you would probably most often punch with the rounded edges to the top and bottom, but I decided to be a little different, and I've turned it so that the straight edges of the sentiment line up with the straight edges of the punch. So just get that in there, punch that out. And where is my circle here? We're just going to layer that onto here. Get that on there. Center it as best I can. There we go. Oh, maybe not so good. There we go. Okay, and then we just want a dimensional right there for the center. And there on an angle, just like that, and that finishes our card. So there you have it, a nice fall encouragement card of encouragement. Very quick, very easy, but a lot of fun to use. I get you using those markers that you purchased that are collecting dust in your cupboard, and someone will love to receive this card from you. All Everything you need to recreate these cards can be found in the description below with links to my online store. And I thank you again for hanging out with me for this short little video, and I hope you found it informative. Have a great day, guys. Bye.